flying rats, vermin, disease-spreading pests. These are the phrases we often hear when we mention pigeons. How do you feel when you see these birds? As a vegan, we should love all animals, but the rhetoric from the last 60 years makes even the greatest animal lover question our relationship with these small grey little birds who seem to be everywhere. Pigeons are one of the oldest domestic animals in the world. Yes, you heard that correctly. Pigeons are domestic animals, not wild birds, and contrary to popular belief, they carry no more disease than a dog or a cat does. They were bred by humans around 5,000 years ago by combining different types of wild pigeon and jungle fowl. They were used for meat and eggs. Their feces was used as fertiliser. In more modern times, they were used for sending messages, and thousands were used and abused during the World Wars I and II. As farming technology and communication evolved, we found less use for pigeons, and now they are only bred for meat as a delicacy in some countries. Pigeons are granivores, so there is no natural food for them in the UK. They live in our towns and cities so they can be near humans, the only carers they have ever known. They beg for food because they have no way of obtaining any themselves, as they are domestic pets. Can you imagine the response from the general public if we bred 1,000 puppies and then threw them out on the streets in Manchester and we ignored them? Well, that's exactly what we've done with pigeons. The number of pigeons on our streets also grows each year due to the sport of pigeon racing. This is an industry worth millions of pounds, where birds are bred and horrendously exploited in a similar way to horse racing. Think about how much anger there is in the vegan community for a horse's death during a race. The Animal Rising campaign at Cheltenham Racecourse was incredible, drawing attention to the plight of these abused horses. But pigeon racing goes unnoticed. Many people believing it's an old man sport and it's dying out, when actually its popularity is growing, as these birds are fairly cheap to breed and keep, and they are easily disposed of. The winning birds in these races and their prizes can be worth hundreds of thousands of pounds. In 2020, a single female racing bird was sold at auction for $1.9 million. When they lose races, birds are killed in an RSPCA-approved way, by pulling their skull from their body. This is, of course, if the bird makes it home alive from the race in the first place. Pigeons don't naturally want to fly hundreds of miles. In fact, as domestic non-migratory birds, they fly on average for around 20 minutes a day, covering about 3 miles in a circular pattern near their home, if they're given a choice. Pigeon racers use a technique called widowing to make pigeons fly home. They exploit the monogamous nature of the relationships within the pigeon community by allowing them to fall in love and breed, then remove one of the pair and drive them hundreds of miles from home to release them. Every second of that stressful journey in the lorry will have been filled with the desire to fly home to their family, because they know no other life outside of their coop. They have never experienced any other way of living. They are terrified. After days in a dark lorry, they're released, and on their journey home they encounter hunger, thirst, exhaustion and predators. They land near people and ask for help, because at home it's people who look after them. They don't fear us. If they are lucky, they will end up in a sanctuary. But thousands of these birds end up suffering horrible deaths in these races each year. Starvation, drowning, disease and physical abuse from people being the main causes of their suffering and death. At the start of 2024, we worked with the People for the Ethical Treatment of Animals. We asked King Charles to step away from the royal patronage of the Racing Pigeon Association, which thankfully he did. This got press attention and started conversations between us and the general public, and we saw firsthand just how little people know about this sport and how horrified they were when they saw the reality of the abuse of these birds. At Little Green Pigeon, we want to make the world a kinder place for pigeons. We need to spread the word on why they are here and how we can help them. Will you join us? We are a not-for-profit community interest company paying towards the care of these birds in sanctuaries in the UK. We work with caring rehabilitators to help birds who are suffering on the streets. We want to bring an end to the cruel sport of pigeon racing. Please join our fight. The pigeons need you. Thank you.